Hi, welcome to the Gear Garage. My name is Zach. This is my little internet show about whitewater stuff. And today I'm going to talk about the Garmin InReach Mini for whitewater paddlers. You know, if you're a hiker or something, this probably isn't the review for you. This is specifically for whitewater paddlers because we use emergency devices differently. And we're mainly going to use this as an emergency communication device, not as a navigator, because on rivers we're just going downstream. So first of all, my quick review is it's awesome, easy to use, well built. I highly recommend it. And if you want to buy it, there's a link down in the show notes on Amazon. If you buy it from Amazon, I get a few bucks. Thank you very much. So that's the quick review. Let me do a little bit longer review and some thoughts. First of all, historically for emergency communication, we used a satellite phone. And a satellite phone is cool because you can talk to a person. The problem is that your service goes in and out. So if you get on a satellite phone call, you maybe have to wait a minute to get service, especially if you're in a deep canyon. Like a lot of river canyons are deep. You have to wait a little while to get service. You finally get service and you might get cut off. And it's really hard to explain location. You have to verbally do it, which is harder. This is the more expensive Garmin. This is the one we use on our commercial trips. When we use these, it's really nice because you can send a text out with very important information. This is exactly what's happening, not something that's verbally done over the phone that can be misconstrued because of the service. And it sends out location. It sends where you're at. So you have to worry about describing location. So I really have been enjoying using these way more on emergencies than a satellite phone. It also has an SOS button, which I think is critical. If you're in a life or death situation, you need immediate help. You press the SOS button, and it gives it tells the dispatch that you have a problem and where you're at, and they can message you back and ask questions so that they can send the right team and the right information and make sure it's not a mistake, right? Sometimes people have pressed this by mistake, dispatched emergency services, and not knowing. So that's an important detail. So this is what I've used historically. This has like a cool, you can see maps on here. There's a lot of cool features. It has a long battery life. It's pretty cool, but it has features paddlers don't use. And this Mini, I think, for paddlers, especially recreational paddlers, is I think better. And so because it's small and we don't always have room to carry something that's bigger. And if you want some of the more advanced features that come on this, then you can hook it to your phone. So you can attach these through Bluetooth, get the EarthMate app from Garmin, and then you can send messages from this keyboard. This only has an up and down button. So sending text messages from this, where you have to write them, is tedious. In an emergency, you're not going to want to do it. So you can send messages from this. There is a keyboard on here that's hard to use, but if you have it hooked to your phone, you can send it from your phone keyboard, which is way, way easier. You can also program this ahead of time with preset messages to preset people. So to use this, you're gonna have to go to Garmin's website, make an account, do all that stuff. You can set messages, say, send this message to this person, and it will show up here, and you can just press buttons. So if you don't have the phone, but you wanna have preset messages, you can do that. And you can preset responses, like things you want to respond to people's answers, like, yes, I'm okay, as a response, or something longer, like, we're going to meet you at this time. So at home, you get on the EarthMate webpage and preset things so you don't have to sit there and type it this way if you don't have the phone. If you're going to use this with the phone on more than a day trip, I'd highly recommend bringing a battery pack. You're going to blow through battery pretty quick, or if you lose your battery in your phone anyway, you're going to want some backup battery. So I'd bring something like this. If you combine these two things, it's about the same size as this bigger one, and this is a lot of battery. So I'd highly recommend having extra battery. A couple things, you're going to need a plan. This isn't cheap. These things usually cost $350. That is not cheap, but if you're in one emergency, you're going to be glad you had it. Then you're going to have about a $15 a month plan to keep it activated. And it's about 50 cents every time you send a text. So for me, I send 2 texts a year. It's just nice to keep this thing on, going so that I can use it in an emergency. It has a couple of features. You can use it with your phone really well to navigate. So the EarthMate app you can download maps for the areas you're in, and you can use it as a GPS, which is pretty cool. And you can also get the weather. For 50 cents, you can the cost of a text, it will give you a basic weather forecast. And there's an updated weather forecast for $1. So if you're in a multi-day day trip, and you're worried about some sort of weather for whatever reason, you can check the weather with this, which is kind of a nice feature for paddlers, especially on those overnight trips. So that's pretty much it for the Garmin Mini. Again, I think it's awesome. I'm a big fan, highly recommend it for paddlers. It's something you can easily pack away in a first aid kit, have it just, in case something goes wrong. And yeah, I think I covered everything. If you have anything you want to add or have any questions, add those down in the comments below. And yeah, don't forget, I'll put a link to this on Amazon. It supports the show if you buy it through that link. I'd certainly appreciate it. And yeah, see you next time. Thanks.